back, baby.
Offense, you know what to do.
It's football time in Tennessee.
Get me Tennessee.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in. This is the latest episode of the 1796 Sports Pod. A lot to talk about today. Not a lot of it happy, but should be a good episode. So, obviously, the Vol boys lost to Kentucky. If you've been on Twitter at all, you would see Kentucky fans doing their victory lap after claiming that regular season doesn't matter, but whatever. And then we're going to probably spend quite a bit of time talking about the ladies tonight because epic collapse, whatever else you can use to describe it, that's what happened. The Lady Vols were about to beat undefeated South Carolina and inexplicably decided to leave somebody wide open for three to win. So that's that. We'll get right into it, though. We'll start with the guys. Normal, Jim, what do you think about the Kentucky game? What's your takeaway?
So they started out real slow, and it felt like nobody wanted to shoot the ball. And when we shot the ball, the only person that would score was Dalton Connect at the beginning of the game. And that's usually okay because sometimes that happens with this basketball team. But it continued throughout the whole game until, the later minutes in the game. I mean, Dalton Connect obviously scored 40 points, but we can't rely on Dalton to score 50 for us to win a game, especially against a team like Kentucky. I mean, you can't say anything else, but, Reed Shepherd absolutely killed all our momentum during this game. We, at one point, got it to 68, 63. He comes in, hits a three in someone's face. I mean, he had an answer for every little momentum push we had. And, good for him, man. He's a really good basketball player. Antonio Reeves had a really good game. So, but Tennessee, man, it's like Vescovy, 0 points. Triple J had a, semi-decent game, but still nothing to really show for. But you got these guys on senior night, and they're not really performing. But I don't know. I'm actually kind of happy we dropped a game like that, because I'd rather them, do that now than in March. So,
Yeah, Ryan, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go here real quick. I think I was probably the most frustrated of the three of us after the game, just because I knew that this was capable of happening. This is like what I didn't predict us to lose. I didn't think we were going to lose, not on senior night. Y'all convinced me we were going to win. And I thought TBA sounded great. I thought, everything was there for us to win. But it was very clear from the get-go that Kentucky was not playing the same way they played last time. Kentucky hasn't played a lick of defense all year. And all of a sudden against us, everybody, they were just locking us down constantly. They were all swarming the ball, blocking shots. They haven't played like that all year. But it's exactly what I was worried about happening. Kentucky has so many players that are capable of taking over a game. We have two or three, so it is what it is. Like you said, Reed Shepherd's really freaking good, unfortunately. Antonio Reeves has been on fire for a month, and he was on fire against us. They have 4 or 5 guys that are completely capable of dropping 30, and we don't. And that's what scared me about it. We'll get into this more, but we've defended Triple J and Vescovy by saying, oh, maybe it's just the game plan. Like, they don't need to score as much. Well, guess what? They needed to score more on Saturday, and they were not capable of doing it. Vescovy shot 5. He attempted 5 field goals, missed all 5. Attempted 3 threes, missed all 3. It's not like Barnes told him not to shoot. He did try to shoot, and he sucked at it. Triple J shot 9 times, made 2 of them. Like, it's not a game plan thing at this point. It's just I don't know. I don't know how you forget how to score, but it seems like they have. Connect had half of our points. That's not a winning formula against teams that have multiple good players. So, Ryan, I'll let you go.
Yeah, to me, this game just drove home the fact that the problem with us in March is not going to be if Connect doesn't score, we're going to lose. It's going to be if Connect scores 40 and nobody else does anything, we're going to lose. And I'm going to shock both of y'all. I don't like the way Connect played in the last 6 minutes because he was kind of being a ball hog. He kind of cooled off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He should have passed the ball. Like I don't like what he did.
100%.
I mean, when you take 29 shots, you're supposed to get 40 points if you're a decent player. So I'm not really very impressed with that. I mean, he was hot in the middle of the second half until we cut it to 5, and then he wasn't. And then at that point, Kentucky took a timeout and said, "Okay, let's stop connecting." They did, and he kept on shooting. So that's what I thought happened. I mean, and the reason we lost is not because Kentucky got hot shooting. They always shoot 40% or better from 3, and when you leave them wide open, what do you think is going to happen? It's like Bryce said, they have players who are lights out and can heat up like that. It's not because Kentucky got hot. I mean, that people who say they're just trying to cope with the fact, but again, we came into the game already SEC champions, and if we, shoot even decent, we probably win that game going away. And did y'all know we took 15 more shots than Kentucky?
Yeah.
That's kind of my point. Like, they have more shooters than we do.
We took 74 shots. They took 59. We actually ended up making one more shot, but you're supposed to make, more than just one more shot if you shoot 15 more times. So I really think it comes down to everybody, even Connect, did not have their best effort. And Connect is just the one who kept on shooting.
And Ryan, you said it perfectly. You leave these guys wide open. I mean, you're not going to beat a team shooting 15 for 29 from 3. You're not going to do it. I mean, they're shooting 51.7% from 3. I don't care what team you're playing. That's a hard game to win. And when half of them were wide open, Reed Shepherd threes, there's a reason why he's going number 1 overall right now in the mock draft. He's good. He could shoot. He could play. And you're leaving him wide open. So, I mean, Tennessee did a couple things wrong, but, I mean, at this point, you got to hope we learn from it and go into the SEC tournament. Because right now, I think Tennessee either has to get to the championship in the SEC tournament or win it to get that 1 seed, because North Carolina's playing lights out and they beat us. So, I mean, I feel like you have to win the SEC tournament to even get that 1 seed, which honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I honestly might rather a 2 seed.
Yeah, I don't really give a shit. I mean, it would be cool just for a milestone, just to say we've been a 1 seed, but, and like Ryan said, something like 70% of champions are 1 seeds. But, I mean, it might sound like copium, but I think, Jim, you said it earlier, this might end up being good that we lost. I think it showed, I think our guys I think we have, all of our players have pretty good heads on their shoulders. But I think it kind of just put it back in check for them. Like, we're not unbeatable. Like, we can lose if we play like shit. And in March, even if you're playing a 15 seed, they're in the tournament. They can beat you if you play like shit.
Yeah, I think it's like you said, Bryce, it's a very good point that it's not the end of the world that you get to reset and have a loss to go over some things that you need to tweak before you get into March. I mean, it's not the end of the world. You already had the hay in the barn with the SEC championship, and that's really all that mattered through the regular season. I mean, that's the reason you play the regular season, is to win the SEC regular season title and get a 1 seed in the SEC tournament. That's it. That's all you do that for. And
It's
we did
just,
that.
I mean, I think for argument's sake, though, I think nobody would be as mad with the loss if it was literally anybody but Kentucky. It's just more
Yeah.
annoying. It makes me more like pissed that it was Kentucky and their fans are having victory parades and they're using all the Wi-Fi they can before they head to the tunnels to send out little tweets.
But they don't celebrate regular season wins.
No, yeah. That one loser, did you see that one loser that was literally running through his neighborhood with a Kentucky flag?
Yeah. Talk about Super Bowl.
I mean, seriously, like, what a fucking troglodyte. Like, anyway.
And it'd be different if, like, they swept us. Like, we beat you in Rupp. Like, it's not, like, what's funny is we actually really don't care about this loss, like you said. But, hey, Tennessee's got a rough road in the SEC tournament. Like, it is no joke going in. I mean, because we got to play either LSU, who's playing really good, or Mississippi State, who beat us. And then you got to play probably South Carolina again.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like we said when all three of us went to the Vandy game, kind of speaking to how good the SEC is. Any team in the SEC can beat us on the right night.
Right.
Except maybe Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri's just – well, Missouri almost beat us. For a little bit, it got me a little scared. But yeah, no, Tennessee's got a rough road. But, I mean, in all honesty, I feel like – because I'm pretty sure if we lose – like, let's say we just lose first or second game. I mean, I'm pretty sure we'll be in the East, which would be pretty huge for Tennessee.
Yeah. I want to put a bow on my thoughts on the actual game from Saturday. Tennessee played like fuck and still had a shot with 10 seconds left to tie the game. I'm not talking about like a chance. I'm talking about an actual shot. Josiah Jordan-James had a shot that looked dead on, and then it bounced out from 3. We made that run. We made an 8-1 run because Kentucky, loses their mind against the press, I guess, when DJ Wagner's out of the game. So I guess he did matter, and then in that first matchup. But we almost won the game playing horribly. I mean, it very easily could have been an overtime game, but the SEC tournament to me, I mean, I don't like. It's like you said, Jim. You have LSU or Mississippi State on Friday.
Yeah.
And I think you'd rather see Auburn than South Carolina because South Carolina beats people up, like physically. I'd rather see Auburn and just not take a chance on somebody getting injured in a highly physical game.
Yep, absolutely. And the one benefit of this tournament is it's pretty much home, and they just need to take advantage. I mean, Tennessee obviously could beat the teams that they're going to play. They could beat everybody in this tournament. It's just you got to show up, and like you said, Ryan, you can't. It's hard to say because I understand Dalton Connect is Dalton Connect, but even if your team's missing, bro, you always encourage your guys to keep shooting the ball, and that's what Dalton Connect needed to do. And he needed to go to his guys and tell them, "Hey, I'm going to pass you the ball. If you're open, shoot it." I mean, when they're not shooting the ball, like Vescovy, the fact that Vescovy has 0 points is a problem. How are we not getting Vescovy shots? The guy's an excellent 3-point shooter.
Yeah, I mean, we've made excuses, but this game was the turning point for me with Vescovy. Like, fifth-year seniors step up when you need them.
Yep.
I mean, he still can. I'm not saying – like, look at what triple – like, the perfect example of this real quick is the first game against Kentucky. Triple J – Dalton Connect didn't have a great game. Triple J stepped up and made plays, got the ball in the net, and we won the game. And that's the difference between the first game and the second game. The fifth-year seniors, the veteran leaders of the team, were not there when we needed them.
Yeah. I mean, this game went exactly for Kentucky like it went for Tennessee and Rupp.
Yeah.
Rob Dillingham had only 11, just like Connect had only 16 in Rupp, but 2 other players that are capable of scoring 25-plus scored 25-plus in Reeves and Reed Shepherd. Just like we had Josiah Jordan James scored 26 and Ziegler scored 26.
Can I make a point for Calipari?
Yeah.
If Calipari wants any shot of winning the title this year, Reed Shepherd is starting. Like, there's not even a question.
Yeah.
You guys agree with that? Because I think he's really freaking good.
Yes. I mean, he, for all intents and purposes, he plays starters minutes. I mean, he played 33 minutes, but it just seems stupid to me to have 4 to 5 minutes at the start of the game where he's not in, because the 4 to 5 minutes at the start is very important, especially in a tournament setting.
And all their losses have been close. Like, they would have probably won a couple more games if they didn't have slow starts.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Jim, do you have anything else about this loss before we move on?
Well, and I think Bryce said it before. Kentucky comes out and plays the best defense they played all year. And again, Ryan, you said we lost a terrible game by 4. And all the Kentucky fans that you're saying, oh, it was garbage time, we let you come. We could have won this game easily if our fifth years decided to show up. And I'm honestly putting all the blame on them. Like, this was your day, senior day, last game in TBA, and you just didn't show up. So
Vescovy this year is like the fucking Avatar. When the world needs him most, he vanished. I mean, it's sad. It's weird. It's very weird. But
yeah,
Ryan, you want to put a bow on this and move on?
I want to put a bow on the whole regular season and this game, and y'all can bounce off me from there. But this is the best regular season we've had since 2018 because we won the SEC title.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's simple as that. I mean, it's like I said earlier, that's why you play the regular season, and we did what we had to do. Like, there's the only thing that you could have asked for was, well, actually, no, we're still the last 1 seed right now, correct?
Yeah.
As of right now, yes.
So,
but go ahead.
You did everything that you could possibly accomplish in the regular season, and now you just got to roll your dice in the SEC tournament to try and secure that 1 seed.
Now, I thought the SEC tournament didn't matter.
Well, it didn't matter 2 years ago, but now it suddenly matters again. So
yeah, because Lenardi said that on ESPN.
In my opinion, the SEC tournament can only hurt us. I don't think it will help that much unless we have a dominant performance, like unless we just breeze through and kill everybody. I think it can only hurt us because if we lose in the first or second round, Lenardi's going to love nothing more than to slap a 2 on us.
Which is, like, honestly, though, like, coming from fans like us, like I said, the 2 to me is not like a big deal.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's more of like a status thing. But Ryan, I didn't want you to don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that the regular season's a failure by any means. I don't want you to think I'm saying that. Like, this loss against Kentucky doesn't make me view the season differently.
Yeah. I don't get that from your points. I'm just saying, when we came in, we recorded before these last 4 games, me and Jim did, and we said we both thought they would go 3-1, and we went 3-1 and won the SEC.
Anybody would take that.
Exactly. I mean, and anybody who's not a redneck, if you gave them a choice, would you rather beat South Carolina and win the SEC or lose South Carolina but beat Kentucky and lose the SEC? I know a few more things would have had to happen for that to be the case, but if you're objectively looking at it and not taking into account the rivalry game, we did what we were supposed to do.
No,
Exactly.
For sure. If you step back and look at it from afar, 3-1 over that stretch with the SEC regular season title, anybody would take that. I get your point.
I mean, there's not many teams in the country who can win 4 straight ranked games in a tough conference, 2 of them on the road, and win that conference when you had the toughest road of the 4 to 5 teams competing for it. I mean, it was an incredible last 4 games, and that's about all I have to say about the regular season and Saturday's game.
You guys want to talk about that travesty of an ending with the Lady Vols?
Oh, bro, let's get to it. Because, like, I am so tired of seeing all these people defending Kellie Harper. I am so tired of it. Like, I understand. You know what? Rakia Jackson, she is the best on the team. And it maybe was a mental error of her not guarding anybody on the inbound, but you had timeouts. Kellie Harper set this play up as a coach would. You had timeouts, and you see your player doing that. And that's not the only thing about this play, but you had timeouts. Call a timeout and get on the inbounder, make it a little bit tougher. Don't let someone catch a ball at the top of the key, as out of all places, at the top of the key and shoot a wide open three. I don't care if she's ever hit a three in her life.
Oh God,
Bro,
I mean,
this was to beat an undefeated team.
If she plays on South Carolina, she's a good fucking basketball
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I literally said that after she hit the shot. I was like, you just left a D1 athlete wide open to shoot a wide open basketball shot. I don't care if she's ever hit one before in her life. She has a chance to hit it.
dude, the special needs kids at your school in PE would every once in a while hit one from the top of the key. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, you're barely covering the girl throwing it in bounds. Like, they didn't put any pressure on her. If you're gonna barely cover her, just don't cover the inbounder. I mean, it's the most dumbfounding defense I've ever seen in my life to end a game.
And the thing about it to me that is the most, like Jim said, if it would have been like a fast break and somebody just broke open and hit a three in the corner, you know, that shit happens. But the fact that this is off of a timeout, it's an inbound, and you lose because you just choose to not guard somebody. Kellie had time to call up a play, get her defensive line, and that's what she came up with. And that's the problem. If it would have been a half court shot or it's just a fast break, somebody gets loose, I can live with that. That's different. This was off of a freaking inbound, and she had ample time, could have called a timeout. She had ample time to get her defense in check, and she just didn't. And
we had fouls to give too.
And I don't blame Rakia for it one bit, because if you watch the play, Rakia was looking at Kellie like Kellie was saying something to her. Like, she was distracted, and it just was a clusterfuck. Like, it looked like they didn't know what they were doing. It's 100% on Kellie. You can say, if you tell me that it was I don't understand that logic. Like, you could be a lobotomite and still see how stupid of a play this is. Kellie Harper had ample time to do something about it, and she just didn't. I don't understand the justification here. Yeah, you can say, oh, well, she is not a three-point shooter. Okay, but why would you willingly leave somebody wide open? And there's just a million different ways. Like Ryan said, I mean, we could literally go to a nursing home, find some brain dead patient, and they could draw up a better defense than what Kellie Harper did on the final play. It made no sense. There's no justification for it. I've been a Kellie Harper supporter for most of the season, and I mean, it's non-defensible. You cannot defend it.
I mean, you would think if you're a 1.1 second away from beating the number one team in the country, undefeated, and you're playing to get to the championship at the SEC women's tournament, and you wanted to win, you might guard the fucking player who's shooting the last shot. I mean, that just shows me either the players don't care, Kellie doesn't care, or they both don't care. I mean, it's just, how do you just let her shoot? It blows my mind.
It's literally basketball 101. Like, the guys that coach at the YMCA rec league would have drawn up a better defense.
I mean, if you guard the ball, I mean, if you don't guard the ball, the inbounder, I mean, you have another girl out there and you tell her, just go to whoever catches it. Because I'm sure she was thinking they might pass it back to the inbounder. The inbounder would be shooting from the volleyball line, which would be a lot better situation than them shooting wide open top of the key. I mean, there's 100 better defenses that a 4-year-old could have drawn up.
There's not one Division I athlete in men's or women's that wouldn't make a three when they don't have a defender within 10 feet.
I agree. I mean, it was atrocious. I remember, dude, I'm screaming at my TV, and I'm like, I seriously thought like the ref was doing that thing where he's like waiting for something because the girl was sitting on the free throw line with nobody on her. And I'm just like, yo, what is going on? And dude, honestly, this lost all the momentum the Lady Vols had. And to me, in my personal opinion, they have zero chance in the tournament. Zero.
I mean,
what are they even looking at seed-wise?
I think they're an 8 seed.
Okay, so their first game is going to be a toss-up at best.
Yeah, and then they're going to have to play a 1 seed.
Yeah, I mean, didn't we say before the season? Correct me if I'm wrong. Did we say Kellie has to get to the Elite Eight?
I've been saying Final Four. I mean,
well, she needs to pack her bags in because that shit ain't happening. There's no possible way. I mean, I would love to be wrong. I think Rakia and Jewel are talented enough to lead a team that far, but I don't see it happening with the current structure of this team.
Bro, and not only that, Ryan, I have people arguing with me that, hey, they came back 23 points against the best team in the country. You lost. It don't matter.
Yeah,
what does Dom Toretto say? It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile.
Yeah.
Winning's winning. It's the same thing on the loss side. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You know what that's called, Jim? You know what that's called, Bryce?
Participation.
Moral victory. You know what? That's unacceptable for a ladies basketball program that literally put out the blueprint for what a women's basketball program is supposed to be.
Yeah, like if you're Kentucky women who are not good, that this would be something worth celebrating. But this is Lady Vols. I mean, we don't need participation trophies.
Well, now we do, apparently. That's how far they've fallen, and that's how much the fan base, the Lady Vol fan base, cares now.
And by the way, somebody told me that he's my buddy, the VFL show. We all know him. So his argument was like the expectations are just too high. You know, Kellie's not doing that bad. I would agree with that most of the time, but the problem is what she did against South Carolina is complete incompetence. It has nothing to do with standards. That shows me that she is not a competent head coach. The way that game ended, I do agree, and I have said that multiple times. I have said that if you're expecting Pat Summitt, you're going to be disappointed every time. But there's a fine line between expecting Pat Summitt and not doing what she did on Saturday.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not unreasonable for us to be pissed about that.
I agree. I mean, and when they panned to Kellie Harper's face after they won that game, or after Tennessee lost that game, I could see it in her eyes that, like, because if the players did not do what she wanted them to do, she would be losing her shit. But she would she had a 1,000-yard stare.
Yep, it was like devastation. It wasn't pissed.
Yeah.
No, she knew she lost her job right there. I mean, that's literally all it looks like, is that she knew that was it.
That is such a good point, Ryan. Like, if the players didn't do what she told them to do, she would have been screaming. She would have been pissed. But she wasn't. She was just sad that they lost. And I feel bad kind of because you can tell she cares. Like, yes, I mean, she was devastated. But I mean, at the end of the day, that doesn't really matter how much you care if you're not putting up results.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the redneck sitting in row 15 in Greenville on Sunday cared too. I mean, but he probably shouldn't be the coach either. I mean, that she obviously went into that huddle and said, okay, here's some of their shooting percentages. If she's open, let them shoot. And if she didn't do that, then she's stupid as hell. Which either scenario is unacceptable. I mean, how do you just not play defense and rely on analytics when you're a second away. I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, that's crazy.
And speaking of women's college basketball, I mean, Kentucky fired their coach.
And they don't even have a history like we do.
Yeah, and one of their calls will be Molly Miller.
Yeah. I mean,
Not saying. Go ahead.
I know because Kentucky's done. They're not making the tournament now. But I've said it that there's not really it's not very common that you fire a coach mid-season or before the season's over. Yeah. So I'm still holding out hope that Danny White is itching to pull that trigger and show her the door. But
if they lose in the first round, she has to be gone, right?
Dude, if she loses in the second round, she has to be gone. Because if she's an 8 seed, which I'm pretty sure they are, I mean, you're going to be playing one of the best teams in the. You could be playing South Carolina again
in the second round.
Yeah, you could be playing, and I don't even know who it could be, but the top 4 teams you're playing like a UConn, South Carolina, Stanford. Yeah, these teams are good, dude. And I'm not saying, dude, the Lady Vols are good. They have good talent. Rakia is her. Like, she is one of the best in the country. But when you have a coach making these decisions and then you lose a game like that, bro, all the momentum is gone. Dude, if they would have won that game, I would have said, you better watch out. You better watch out. Because even if they lost in the title game against LSU, you still have the momentum. You just beat the number 1 team in the country that literally no one beat. And you could have rolled out with that. But now that you lost off a play like that, all the momentum's gone, bro. All of it.
100%. And nobody would have been pissed if they went and lost to LSU. I mean,
right.
LSU has dogs on that team. Like, nobody would have been pissed. We're only pissed because we were that close to something incredible, and it was ruined by incompetence.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like, if you beat South Carolina, you could say, hey, we just beat the team that nobody could beat. All year, no one could beat them. We just beat them. We could beat anybody in the country. But now you can't say that. And you have a coach that made a decision like that. I don't care. You could pat her on the back all you want. It's just, I mean, if I'm a player, I'm still, behind closed doors, I'm being like, what kind of play call was that? Like, I'm going to say your ass behind your back. I might pat you on the back just to look like a good, player or whatever, with the cameras.
Yeah, I mean, how does it inspire any confidence? Like, going forward, if we're in the same situation in a tournament game, like, do you guys have confidence that Kellie's going to draw up the correct play? I don't.
Oh, wait. No. So I got the bracket pulled up that is potentially what's going to be it, if you guys want to hear it.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so right now they have Tennessee as a 7 seed. Okay, so right now we would be playing Michigan in Texas. And if we beat Michigan, we would have to play Texas as the 2 seed.
Oh, in Austin?
In Austin, Texas, yeah. And then, listen to that, though. Then if you beat them, let's say they magically beat both them teams, then you're going to have to play either Baylor, NC State, or Marquette. Like,
it ain't happening.
Yeah, and then USC's at the top of their bracket, too. Like, later. Like, they're done.
I mean, I think the Lady Vols proved that they have the players, at least, have something in them to come back from down 23. But when you have Kellie leading the charge and being in charge of the, winning situations, I mean, it just doesn't inspire confidence. I mean,
I don't doubt I mean, yes, there's some things about the roster I don't like, particularly the fact that there's no high school. She can't recruit high school players. I mean, that's concerning. But
people still defend her.
I mean, Rakia could play for any school individually.
Dude, imagine Rakia on South Carolina. Like, they would legit be unbeatable.
I mean, yeah, she would start for South Carolina too. That's how good I think she is. But
she's going to be a top 10 pick. I mean, probably even top 5.
And we're gonna have what, a first round exit to show for it.
No, I
Second
think
round.
we could beat Michigan. Texas is going to be tough. Even you're going to be playing an away game to a number 2 seed at their home court. I mean, it's just it'd be really hard to beat them.
That's just embarrassing. Like, this isn't.
Well, think about it. If Tennessee won that game, they probably could have been like a 6 seed at least.
Mm-hmm. And if you miraculously follow that up on Sunday with beating LSU, you
maybe
probably
a 5,
up, or even you move up another seed line or 2. So, I mean, they obviously did enough to get moved from the 8-9 range up to 7, at least in the projections right now. And I really hope that the Austin playing Texas and Austin isn't what comes to.
Yeah, that'd be tough. That'd be.
I hope we get put in Iowa's bracket and Caitlin Clark twerks all over us in like the second round.
Dude, Iowa. I feel bad for Alabama. That's where Alabama's at.
Yep.
Ryan, I don't know if you answered or not. Do you think, like, say you're Danny White, do you fire Kellie if she gets out in the second round?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I mean, this is her 5th year. I know the first year was COVID, but I mean, it's when you go, as you said earlier, when you go a full cycle without getting any high school recruits, what makes you think the program's going to be, better?
Well, that was kind of my next question. Is like, she can't recruit out of high school. She can get transfer players, but she can't recruit, and she can't handle late game situations. So what the fuck can she do?
Nothing. She's there for, like, I don't even know why she's there. Like, I mean, she lost me completely on that one play.
I mean, and you can't even say that she's like a draw for talent, because the Lady Vols have always got talented players before Kellie. They'll get talented players after Kellie. So, I mean, like Jim said, what is the point? What does she bring you?
The thing that gives me hope is Danny going to, pull the trigger or not. It was not his hire. It was Philip Fulmer's hire. So he has no emotional connection to, looking her in the eyes and saying, "You're the coach of the Lady Vols." That wasn't him.
But there's a difference too about college basketball coaches, and there's a reason I say she's the worst in women's college basketball. We already talked about this play. This play alone is a hands down reason you're the worst. But you can't recruit, and the coach of the year, Dawn Staley, bro, she is a coach you want. This girl attracts all sorts of talent from everywhere, because who wouldn't want to play for a coach who's chill as hell, has her girls' backs, could recruit every top talent to come play at her school. South Carolina is turning into what the Lady Vols were.
That's what's depressing about it. I think I said that last time. Like, so it was UConn for most of our lives. It was UConn, right? Like, they were just going years without
undefeated.
losing.
Yeah, literally like 4 years without losing.
Yeah, and then South Carolina kind of took that mantle, and LSU, Baylor was really good for a long time.
Moki's the worst. Moki second worst.
Stanford, but I'm saying, like, Tennessee should be in that, and they're not. And that is embarrassing. It's infuriating. There's no reason Tennessee shouldn't. Tennessee could easily be in the position South Carolina's in.
Yep.
But anyway, so
Bryce, let's talk about something more positive.
Okay.
Dalton Connect, SEC Player of the Year, it is now official.
Yeah, I was just going to go to that. You read my mind.
I feel like that's been locked in since the Alabama game.
Yeah, it has.
Did you see did y'all see all the people crying about it though?
Oh, dude. Yeah, and the like, even Sakai getting Defensive Player of the Year. He had a rough game against Kentucky, right? And I wouldn't even say rough game. I mean, Reed Shepherd was hitting shots with people in his face, but the fact that they're like, oh, well, he just got dunked on by Antonio Reeves and Reed Shepard. Yo, shut up. Zakai Ziegler is the best defensive player in the SEC. Hands down. One of the top 5 in the country. I mean,
much to the criticism of Kentucky fans and much to their delusion, the season is not just on what happened on Saturday. I mean, you don't win SEC Defensive Player of the Year just off one game.
at the end of the year.
You don't get knocked down from the top spot after one game where people are shooting very well. They want to win the game and they shoot over you. I mean,
did y'all see that one dumbass that said he used Zakai's points per game as like a reason why he shouldn't win Defensive Player of the Year?
That's just some galaxy brain stuff right there.
Dude, I do want to take credit for both these awards, though. Because before the season ever started, I took a picture with both these guys in one picture together. And, yeah, I'm taking credit. They played well because they gave, I had my arm around Zakai, and I must have transferred my athletic abilities to him.
Well, in that case, is there any way this summer you can get a pick with like Nico and James Pierce?
I mean, I could make it work. I mean, Nico, hit me up. I'll transfer my athletic abilities, to you, and we'll win an Addy. Hopefully, I gave enough of mine to win a basketball national championship. But we'll see. We got plenty of road to go. But yeah, I'm still taking credit.
Yeah, and Connect Player of the Year, Zakai defensive. Adu made second team All SEC. Zakai and Connect made first team All SEC. So, I mean, that's just the type of accolades you expect from individual players when you win the conference. Simple
Absolutely.
as that.
My only complaint with the awards is JP Estrella was robbed. If that's not first team, I don't know what is.
I mean, when you throw a W up at the end of every win,
It's crucial.
it's pretty damn tough.
He's first team all aura, that's for sure.
Same thing. Like, how did Jordan Gainey not win Meme of the Year?
That's true.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait though. You guys realize what we're in for, right? If we have a disappointing end to the season, Kentucky fans are going to be so annoying. They're going to talk about like, oh, well, at least you got your regular season trophy and your players got some award. It's going to be brutal.
Well, Bryce, it won't be brutal for me because we already have the trophy. I mean, the SC regular season, I've said it all year, matters more to me than 3 days at the end of the year. It's way harder to win. And the SC tournament is just so. I don't like the end of the year conference tournaments because it is completely different than what's been going on all year. You're playing every damn day, and whoever has the hottest shooting or whoever has the best depth wins.
That's also what is kind of endearing about it though, because you have teams that have no business making the tournament make the tournament because of that.
Yeah, I understand. I understand that it's a fun event, and I wouldn't be saying this. I would care about it if we didn't win it 2 years ago for the first time since 1979. But it's just the hellscape that is the SC tournament for Tennessee basketball for 45 years is just it turns me off to it. I don't like it. I've watched. I was at the Kentucky game in 2019 when we came back from down 8 in the last 2.5 minutes against Kentucky, and then we proceeded to get blitzkrieged by Auburn the next day. I mean, it's just crazy.
It's fluky. Yeah, it's not like predicative of how the season went. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, boys, anything else y'all want to hit on?
Boys, for our baseball team are still on a tear.
They're damn good.
Dude, this team's dangerous. I said it, this morning. If we could get AJ Russell back to being healthy, I mean, the way Causey's pitching, we would have 2 AJs as our starting, pitchers.
Oh yeah, we got to say we're in the top 5 now today.
Yeah, well, I think Perfect Game had us at 7 still, but I think D1 is D1 the one?
Yeah, that's the one I go off of.
I don't know because I personally I don't know why we don't have like a set top 10 like we do in
D1 is
football.
like the equivalent of like AP.
Okay, yeah, then I still think I don't think LSU is obviously still top 5 program. I don't think they're still number 3 though, but
Arkansas is really good.
I mean,
it's the only thing they're good at.
Isn't it 4 of the top 5 teams are SEC teams?
Yep.
Dude, I think there's if you include Texas, the SEC has 10 SEC teams in the top 25.
It's absurd.
It's bonkers. I mean, the SEC's been the best baseball conference for probably 25 years now.
And we're the best football conference, and we're about to be the best basketball conference.
I mean, it's wild. But go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, do you think we're gonna be the best basketball conference next year? Because now that we're adding Oklahoma and Texas,
I mean, that's just 2 more solid programs to add.
I feel like that's. I mean, Oklahoma and Texas were both top 25 teams at some point this year.
I mean, it definitely won't hurt.
Well, I'm saying though, I mean, they're taking them from the Big 12, and like,
it's a good point.
I think they're adding is what Colorado and who?
Arizona.
Yeah, oh, okay. So Arizona would be a tough one then, but Colorado's not a bad basketball team either. But still, I mean, the SEC, man, is where you want to be at if you're an athlete.
Yeah, I want to touch on just the most dramatic thing that happened from the weekend, which happened yesterday in the series finale. I mean, I don't know if y'all saw Tony's post-game comments, but he was not very happy with the way that game was handled as far as the warnings and such, and Blake Berg getting ejected for literally saying something to the catcher. He wasn't real happy with Illinois quick pitching when Tennessee's players weren't looking. I mean,
they're a shitty team. They've got to do what they can to try to manufacture a win.
I mean, he made a great point to me. Like, he's okay if the pitcher is on that day and his players are just swinging and missing. But when they're throwing, we're not even fucking looking, I mean, that's when people get hurt. That's when somebody gets hit.
Oh, that pissed me off at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
The pitcher was like, dude, we would look at him for a split second, and he would just go to throw the ball. And Dean Curley was sitting there like, dude, what am I supposed to do? Like, just look at the ground, like, until I'm fully set? But even then, it's the dumbest rule they ever added to college baseball.
I mean, it shouldn't be a thing where the guy who's holding the object that can hurl it 90 plus miles an hour can throw it when these players get like a nanosecond to see it. I mean, that's just not safe. I mean, and he mentioned that when Tony mentioned that when he was in college, a kid on a team they were playing got beamed in the eyeball and like got really badly hurt. I mean, it's like you said, Bryce, when a team that is upset that they just got their ass kicked 24-1 comes in on the series finale just to come home with some pride. I always thought I kind of figured it would be chippy on Sunday, but it's just what programs do when they don't have the talent to compete with the likes of Tennessee.
Yeah, it's just Bush League. Just Bush League.
Like I said, dumbest rule they ever added. The umpire should be able to say, "Hey, give him a second, let him get set, and start the clock." Like, I don't understand. I get they want the game to go faster, but I mean, the shot clock alone makes the game go quicker, and this is just, dude. Like, and I played baseball all my life. I'd be getting irritated too, and
100%.
It's just something that they need to work on, maybe fix.
I mean, Vitellos said that he hasn't been in the conference long enough. He'd rather let the older managers and coaches kind of take care of that aspect, but he's calling for action for a change to that rule. So that was the most dramatic thing. But we scored how many runs on the weekend?
38.
I mean, that's. I
and
don't
the
think
catcher's talking shit. Come on now.
You're not going to lose to many teams if you rack up 10 plus runs a game. So
Well, here's what the difference is with this team than last year. Like, even when we get, I mean, the SEC is so good. I mean, even like Alabama is really good this year. Like, I am not going to be surprised if we drop 1 or 2 to Alabama. I mean,
Yeah.
Here's the thing about Tennessee fans this year is the conference is so good you can't be sweating the conference weeks. If you could sneak 2 and you lose 1, so be it. But to me, this year especially, I think 2-1 on a conference week is great. 3-0, fantastic. But I mean, win the series. I mean, that's all you got to really do this year.
Mhm.
yeah, the formula for success in conference play is win or sweep your home series, and win at least 1 game, and maybe come up with 1 series win in the road series, and your record's gonna look pretty damn good. I mean, I wrote about it before the year started. This team was 5-10 halfway through conference play, and they ended the season 16-14 in conference play.
Yeah,
I
and like
mean-
I said, man, you just got to get AJ Russell healed because you found your guy, your third day guy. I think you throw Causey on Friday, Beam on Saturday, and Russell on Sunday.
Mhm.
And to me, that's a sick pitching staff if they could stay healthy. And we talked about it a couple podcasts ago. I mean, these freshmen and these relievers need to be ready to come in and throw lights out. And
Yep.
you know, as long as they could do that, we have the lineup. This Tennessee has the lineup to score runs. They have They have a very good defense. They just need the pitching, and I think this team could go a long way.
You know, because of the NCAA baseball's ridiculous rules, Blake Burke will be missing Tuesday's game, but he'll be in action for the first SEC series. So we'll probably see Dalton Bargo there. I mean, that'll be fun.
I'm not mad at that though. Bargo has been hitting really well for a guy just pinch hitting and playing every now and then. And what's crazy? We said it before, and I'll say it again. Cannon Peebles is still finding his rhythm. Wait till he gets on. Wait till he starts hitting. This team is just all around, bro. 1 through 9, you have a hitter. So
Yeah, I mean, even if Peebles still lies in the weeds for a few more weeks, it's still a lot better than what we had offensively from the catcher position last year. I mean,
Cal Stark's hitting a lot better too.
Yeah, I mean, and Cal has a season's worth of experience against SEC teams if Peebles, doesn't turn it around. But I it's like you said, I really think he will start to hit.
Well, I'm pretty sure they even said that that he's going to be the Friday guy,
Mm-hmm.
and then Peebles will play Saturday, Sunday.
It's not bad. It's not a bad idea. I mean, it's just such a deep team. And the last thing I'll say about baseball is I loved Tony letting Snead finish that game, even when he was at, almost 90 pitches in relief. I mean, I think a guy like Snead, who could potentially be a workhorse out of the bullpen, you let him finish that game with a 5-run lead, even though he loaded the bases. I mean, I loved seeing him work his way into pressure and then end up slipping out of it unscathed. I think that's a big time experience that will prove dividends later in the season.
Well, Snead's that guy, dude. I mean, he has starting capabilities too, and it's just who knows. Tony knows what he's doing, and I'm gonna end it on this question for you guys because this might take a couple minutes. But do you think Tony will ever leave? Like, honestly, and I'm not saying because everyone's like, oh well, if he could go to Arkansas, he'd go back. I don't know if he does. He's created a powerhouse here. Why would you leave?
I mean, Arkansas is about the only school I can see him leaving us for. I think that's the only one. But if you just look at how much he's embraced Tennessee, I mean, being courtside at basketball games, being on the field at football games, being the voiceover for the hype video before the Alabama football game when we won in 2022. I mean, he just loves Tennessee. I mean, I think that's very obvious.
And I
Well,
think he definitely sees the fans. I mean, the fans love Tony, man. Like he's got to feel like a superstar here.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Go
where
ahead.
else would he go to is the thing. Like I really seriously doubt he'd ever go back to Arkansas.
Well, like Ryan said, that's the only place I could see him going. Like I don't see him. I could see him in the majors, but like I don't see him going there. So I think Arkansas is only like way out. But I mean, that's what I'm saying though. Is like if they offered him a good amount of money, like it'd be hard to say no.
Mm-hmm. I think Tony Vitello respects Arkansas's baseball coach Dave Van Horn a lot, even though they've had their past squabbles. They've yelled at each other a few times since he's been the Tennessee coach. But Dave Van Horn is the guy that kind of mentored Tony into what he is today. So it's like Bryce said, there's not really anybody that I think he loves more than Tennessee, but I think Arkansas is the spot that if it opened, we would have to give him a pay raise.
Oh, dude, I would pay. Dude, Tony is the best recruiter in college baseball. And that's the reason he loves going to the basketball games. He uses these games, football and basketball, for that reason, is for recruiting. He has all the recruits out on Neyland Stadiums, on the football field. And he says, look at this crowd. It's not just for football. Wait till the conference games in baseball. That place could be packed and popping.
Wait until the stadium is fully renovated, too. I mean,
exactly. It's only stage 1 right now.
It's going to be a top-tier baseball facility.
Whoa. Saquon Barkley to the Eagles?
Yep, that happened.
That hurts. Okay. Can we talk about that, though? Or are we not talking about that?
No Giants talk.
Oh, no Giants. I'm talking Titans.
Mean.
So, real quick, the Titans signed Chidobe Awuzie, corner from the Bengals, Tony Pollard, running back from the Cowboys, and Lloyd Cushenberry, center from the Broncos.
T. Higgins coming soon.
I fucking hope so. I love all those moves. I just got really depressed, though, because, Ryan, did you see Aziz?
Autry and Aziz to the Texans, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Bryce,
for them.
What did I tell you a week ago about Aziz and that video we put out at the 49ers game?
He wasn't under contract, though, so who cares?
Well, I guarantee you that played a part in him dapping up another team's players. I guarantee it.
It makes sense he's going to the Texans because D'Amico, him and D'Amico were both at the Niners.
I'm not, I'm not melting down over either of those. I mean, I think it's time.
Aziz had 165 tackles last year, and nobody else on our team had 100. So I'm a little bit.
I feel like he was all over the field last year. Every time I turn on a Titans game, he was tackling somebody.
Well, who was the other linebacker though?
Jack Gibbons.
Exactly. I mean, I think they'll be all right. And free agency has just started, so we'll just have to assess.
Which is crazy. You see all the movements, dude. It's nuts.
I mean, technically, nobody's even signed a contract yet. They can't even sign until Wednesday. Yeah, they can just negotiate.
Well, I know T. Higgins really wants to come to Tennessee.
Have you seen his Instagram stories?
All Tennessee, bro.
He posted videos from his high school days in Oak Ridge. I mean, it's hilarious. I really hope that ranks.
Now, if we get T. Higgins, do we get rid of D-Hop?
No. You get rid of Burks because he sucks.
He really does.
Yeah, D-Hop and Higgins is an elite.
And then you have Tony Pollard and Spears in the backfield, dude. Like, as long as you could protect Will Levis.
Imagine Brock Bowers in the first round, too.
Oh, that's a good pick. Or, I mean, dude, you could snag another receiver, really. Like, you really could.
That's going to be exciting.
Just imagine if they, no, that's too, no. Never mind.
We'll definitely give y'all updates. We might have to do emergency pod or something if T. Higgins comes, but
yeah. Bryce, the best thing to me about what the Titans did today is that Cushenberry is the 3rd ranked pass blocking center, while Aaron Brewer was like the 35th ranked.
So Yeah, Cushenberry he had over 1,000 snaps last year, and he allowed 1 sack.
Yeah.
He's
I mean,
a badass.
That clearly shows you the direction where the Titans are going. So,
You know what my main takeaway is from everything? Go Vols,
what is-
baby.
Go Vols.
Go Vols.